Okay, so in my last pump series, I asked you all to leave me questions in the comment section below and that I will answer them in this next video. So I got a few questions. One of the questions that I got was pertaining to females in the military. It said, is it hard for females to rank up in the Army, and what female officer has the most senior rank? No, I would say it is not hard for females to rank up in the Army because it doesn't go by gender. It doesn't go by your job. It's based off of you as an individual and what your individual accomplishments are. They equate into points, and you need a certain amount of points to get promoted. The most highest female officer in the Army right now is Naja West. She is a 3-star general. So it is possible. It is possible for us females to get up there. She's also actually the first black female, I think, 3-star general. She's also the surgeon general. So yes, it's possible for us females. The next question I got was about the hours as a 68 Quebec. What hours does a 68 Quebec work, and is it a set schedule for the overnight shift? So the hours are based on your specific location. Every individual hospital or clinic that you may be placed at has different hours. I cannot answer that question for you because it depends on where you work. Here I am at a major hospital in Virginia, and they have inpatient, which services patients 24 hours. But my first duty station in Japan was a small clinic, and the hours were 7 to 4. So it just depends on where you at. Thank you all for the questions in the description box below, and leave them in this video so I can answer them for you in the next one. Bye. Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is my second video in this little series, my little pump series. And like I said, if you like this, make sure you go ahead and click the thumbs up button. That lets me know that you like it. That also brings a lot of traffic to this channel so that other people can see and they can join in. So make sure you definitely hit that thumbs up sign. It really does help out my channel. And go ahead and leave a comment below any questions you may have, or any comments, any questions you might have that can also help somebody else in the comment section, because I love for us to have a party down there. But I wanted to talk about AIT. So I've been getting a lot of questions on AIT, and this video is going to be in particular when it pertains to bringing your family with you to AIT. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on my MOS and AIT, because it really doesn't have anything to do with family. I want to keep these videos kind of pertaining to family when it comes to the military. But so if you are looking for a video on my MOS, which is pharmacy technician, what AIT is like for a pharmacy technician, stay tuned for that. But this one is in particular with bringing your family with you to AIT, because I get people who ask me questions about that as well. Okay, so just so we all have a frame of reference, AIT is Advanced Individual Training. It is something that happens after your basic training. So once you finish basic training, you will immediately go to AIT. You do not pass go. You do not go home. You do not get to visit your loved ones. Literally, the day you graduate, they put you on a bus or on an airplane, and they ship you to your AIT. Now, depending on what your job is going to be in the military, we'll let you know where your AIT is going to be. For example, anything that has to do with medical in the military. If you're a medic, if you're a lab tech, if you're a radiology tech, if you're a pharmacy tech, if you're a OR tech, anything that has to do with the medical field or profession, your AIT is done in San Antonio, Texas. I love San Antonio. So when I went through AIT back in 2007-ish, 2008, somewhere around there, I did AIT in San Antonio, Texas. Now, AIT is not as strenuous as basic training. It's a little more lax. So you have a little bit more responsibility, but not that much more. But when I say it's more lax, you do get your nights and your weekends free to you. So in basic training, you can't go anywhere nights or weekends. You doing what they tell you to do. But in AIT, they kind of step off a little bit. They step back a little bit. And, you know, in the evening when you're done with class, because AIT is school. It's basically where you learn how to do your job that you signed up for the military. So it's school. When you get done with class, you are free, usually released like around 1700, which is 5 o'clock, to go eat dinner, you know, relax, go do what you want to do. You basically free for the night until the next morning when you have PT formation. With that being said, you are very busy still. Like, it's depending on your job. Like, when I say pharmacy, we were busy studying. Pharmacy is not a joke when it comes to AIT. It's equivalent to taking a college course. So you're busy, you're studying, and you oftentimes have study hall on the weekends, like Saturday morning. So I say all that to say that you don't want to bring your family with you to AIT, or you don't want to have your family come visit you. So I know that there are people who may live close. Say you live in Virginia, your AIT is in Virginia. So anybody that's doing supply, your AIT will be in Virginia. So that might be an area where you have people that can drive to you. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll drive 3 hours, 4 hours. You can do that, but I would suggest not, at least not till after you get, you know, used to your AIT and what's going on, the schedule. Because a lot of times, especially on the weekend, like I said, there's study hall. You have a lot of studying to do. You have things that you might need to do with your class, and you just don't want to get distracted. Now, I know that you've already been away from your family and your kids for 10 weeks that basic training is. And depending on your AIT, it could be another 3 or 4 months that you might be away from your family. But I want you to realize and remember that you are still, you know what I mean, in the military and learning a job, and they take it very, very serious. So I've known people who, when we were in Texas, they were from Texas, so they would drive home on the weekends. Because when I went to AIT, you can have a car. I'm not sure if you can have it now. But people would drive home on the weekends, and then they would party with their friends from home, get drunk, not come back. And if you don't come back, you're AWOL. It's not a good thing, because once you go AWOL, you go on to Fort Couch. Everybody always talk about my you shouldn't be in the military video, Fort Couch. They will send you to Fort Couch when you go AWOL. Fort Couch is home, your house. So you want to go home on the weekends and party and hang out and, you know, love up on your family, that's fine. But just know that if you don't make it back in time, it could be trouble, and problems. So I would say keep family to a minimum. You know, sometimes depending, it may be a child's birthday or anniversary or whatever. If you are able to go home and come right back. If your family is able to fly in, maybe they can fly in for a weekend. I mean, you can't, depending on what phase you are, because they phase you, you may or may not be able to stay overnight. You know, if your family flies, say your family flies into Texas for the weekend, you may not be able to stay overnight at the hotel with them, but at least during the day, you know, once you're released, you can see them. But that's the maximum that I would suggest as far as seeing your family and bring your family with you and dealing with your family while you're in AIT, because you need to stay focused and you need to study. Because if you don't study and you don't pass AIT, they will send you to Fort Couch. You'll be going home. So just try to hold off and do what you can to maintain your focus, study, you'll be able to have your phone so you can talk to your family, you know, nights and weekends and do that type of stuff. FaceTime. They didn't have FaceTime when I went through basic AIT. There was no FaceTime. We had the old Nextels, the bleep bleep walkie-talkie, where you at. That's what we had. But you can do all those things now where you can still kind of feel close to your family and still see your family. But you do not want to have your family coming up there, basically living up there, or you going home every single weekend while you're in AIT, because it could cause troubles and it could cause problems. And I know that they've cut back a lot since I went through AIT. Like I said, I went through AIT in 2007, 2008. We had a lot of freedoms, but people used to get in trouble a lot. People used to stay out all night, go partying, go drinking, because you are let loose from basic training, like I said. So people were like, oh, I'm free, I can do whatever I want, and they got themselves in trouble, and then they start cutting back. So I know for a fact now you have to be phase 5, I think, or phase 5 plus, in my in my AIT, at least in San Antonio, to do a lot of the things. And so you don't want to chance that as far as getting in trouble, and then you get your phase taken from you, and you phase all the way down to phase 1, and you can't do nothing. So if you can, hold out. Talk to your family on FaceTime. Maybe they can come up and visit once. They can come up for your graduation. So you will get a graduation at the end of AIT, and your family is more than welcome to come up and see you for graduation. And then once you finish AIT, depending on how long it is, they have what's called hometown recruiting. So hometown recruiting, make sure you speak to your recruiter about it. Hometown recruiting is when you get 14, I think it's like 10 to 14 days of free leave that you can go home directly after AIT, and you can spend 14 days at home. What you're supposed to be doing is trying to be recruiting your friends, and you work with your recruiter, recruit friends, and go to the local college and school, university, and try to recruit people to join the military. But they basically give you 14 days of free leave where you can go home and visit your family before you go to your duty station. And then if you have your family, if you have all the paperwork, put in ahead of time when you leave for basic and AIT, your family should be on your orders to come with you. So your family can go with you depending on where your first duty assignment is. Your family can go with you, and they'll be living with you like normal life before you came in the military. But while you're in AIT, focus on AIT, do a good job, pass, graduate, and then you can have all of the freedoms that us they call us prior service, not prior service, us regular Army folks have. You can have all of the freedoms that us regular Army folks have once you finish basic and AIT, and you're no longer a student, or what they call student status. Because when you're a student and you're in student status, you can't do a lot of the things because you're in training. So you should be training, you should be learning, you should be focused. And then once you graduate and you become regular Army, you can do regular Army things. But until then. All right, guys, that's it. That's it. Like I said, if you have any questions for me, any comments for me, make sure you leave them below. If you have any information for anybody else, make sure you leave that in the comment section. It could benefit somebody. And I will see you in the next Pump series. Bye.
Hey, if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like, what are you waiting on? Go now.